Have the European Union and India just signed one of the biggest geopolitical deals of this decade? And what does it mean for the USA? What if I told you this deal could reshape global trade, make European cars cheaper in India, boost Indian exports to Europe, and at the same time challenge America's dominance in world markets? Is this deal simply about trade? Or is it Europe and India's way of countering American tariffs and reducing US economic leverage? Stay till the end, because the answer explains where the United States really stands after this deal. In January 2026, the European Union and India agreed to a landmark free trade agreement after nearly 20 years of negotiation. It is being called the mother of all deals. At its core, this is a free trade agreement between India and the 27-nation European Union. Once ratified by governments and parliaments, the deal will reduce or eliminate tariffs on most goods and services traded between them. Implementation is expected to begin around 2027. Why this matters is scale. This agreement covers a combined market of nearly 2 billion people and a massive share of global GDP, making it one of the most consequential economic deals in recent history. Let's break down what Europe gets out of this deal. First, massive market access. The European Union gains unprecedented access to India's protected market, which historically imposed high duties on imports. Duties on many industrial and manufactured goods, such as machinery, chemicals, auto parts, and pharmaceuticals, will be eliminated or sharply reduced, saving European exporters an estimated 4 billion euros per year. Second, tariff cuts on automobiles. Import duties on European cars entering India, which were previously around 110%, will eventually fall to about 10% under quota systems. This is a major win for European manufacturers such as BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen. Third, cheaper consumer goods. European wines, beers, olive oil, chocolates, and other food products become more competitive in the Indian market as tariffs decline. And finally, services and investment. The agreement opens services markets and strengthens rules on customs procedures, intellectual property, and investment protection, benefiting European banks, insurers, technology firms, and shipping companies. In short, Europe gains deep access to a fast-growing economy with rising consumption and long-term investment potential. Now the Indian side, and this deal is just as significant for India. At launch, the European Union will remove tariffs on around 90% of Indian goods, expanding to roughly 93% over the following years. This allows Indian exports such as textiles, leather products, gems and jewelry, chemicals, and marine goods to enter European markets more easily and at lower cost, boosting exports. Analysts project that trade between India and the European Union could grow by 40 to 65% over time, strengthening economic integration and raising incomes. Indian industries also benefit from lower input costs, as machinery, electronics, and precision equipment from Europe become cheaper, improving manufacturing competitiveness. Strategically, the deal gives India an alternative market at a time of rising global trade tensions, especially with the United States, reducing overdependence on any single partner. The agreement is not perfect. Automobiles and agriculture remain partially protected, and services liberalization is gradual. But from an export growth and strategic perspective, the upside for India is substantial. This is where the geopolitics become especially important. The United States has increased tariffs on certain Indian exports in recent years, pushing India to diversify its trade partnerships. The EU-India deal does not directly exclude the United States, but it does shift trade flows and economic alliances, potentially reducing America's relative share of trade with both partners. Both India and the European Union are also pursuing a China Plus One strategy, aiming to reduce dependence on China. For the United States, this aligns strategically, but it also introduces competition for influence across Asia and global markets. The United States remains a major export destination, but American companies could lose some competitive advantage as Europe and India trade more freely with each other. Goldman Sachs analysts note that the deal offsets only part of the impact from US tariffs, meaning Washington still holds leverage, but Europe secures meaningful sector-specific gains. The broader message is clear. This deal signals a shift toward a more multipolar economic system, rather than one dominated by the United States alone. This is the part many people miss. Yes, tariffs are being reduced, and that is the headline. But the deeper geopolitical impact goes much further. Two large democratic partners are linking their economies at a time when global supply chains are under pressure. Rivalry with China is intensifying, and multilateral trade systems are weakening. By integrating nearly 2 billion consumers and a massive share of global GDP, this deal offers a real alternative to trade systems centered primarily around the United States or China. The message to the world is simple. Economic diplomacy now matters as much as military alliances. Global power is no longer shaped only on battlefields, but in boardrooms, markets, and trade routes. And in the long run, this deal strengthens India's global position, gives Europe strategic economic leverage, and forces the United States to rethink its trade strategy in Asia, not through confrontation, but through competition and cooperation.